On audio and video.
And again, I'm just hitting record and then stop at the end.
Yep. We'll do some sound check. Ann and Caitlin, can you guys hear and see us? Audio, video.
Yes, to both.
Yep.
Stop, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
We'll
no.
do some sound check. Ann and Caitlin, can you guys hear and see us? Oh, there you go. I'm from my computer.
Let's try that one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're recording.
Yes, Anne can hear you.
Great. Thank you, Ann. And Caitlin, will you confirm too, please?
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good. Sounds good.
Fabulous. And have you hit record already, Brian?
It is recording.
Okay, fabulous. We will get this meeting started. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026, 6:01, Bluff Planning and Zoning regular meeting. We are meeting here in person as well as virtually, and we will get started with the roll call. Malia Collins, Chair.
Marcia Haydenfeld.
Brian Whitney.
Anne Brown.
Caitlin McLennan.
Fabulous.
Erin Nelson, serving as town manager.
Gang's all here. Doesn't look like we have any members of the public just yet, but you never know. So we'll get started with approving our meeting minutes from February 5th regular meeting. I will bring those up on my screen. February 5th. All right, can you guys, everyone see that?
Yes.
Great. Looks like here we have an edit that Marcia added.
Are we talking about the lot size one?
Yes.
I just remembered 2.7 is 2.78 in my head, but it was written as 275. So I just want to double check. And where did that come from? From the state?
Yeah.
I probably should have checked that for you, ladies and gentlemen.
On-site wastewater, Utah. Oh, not there.
It's probably have it here where she said it, but I don't. And so it's not critical. I just want to make sure that in our final send out, we say the right thing,
Okay.
or that we certainly understand.
And I think the issue stems from, it actually is stated as square footage in Utah code, not acreage. So it's 12,000 square feet, which is indeed 0.27548 acres.
There you go.
So 0.5 is accurate.
Very good. Thank you. You may get rid of my
Fabulous.
suggestion.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin.
Adding some.
Okay, and then
Clarified, Hayden felt clarified with Bushnell, the standard building code focus on preventing individual structures from burning. While WUI codes address architectural elements that mitigate fire spread between structures and across neighborhoods.
it was just a sentence correction of how to say that.
I like it.
Okay.
Choo, choo, choo. Oh.
I don't know what that
Added
is.
high risk. Ewing clarified that only properties located in state identified high risk WUI areas are subject to additional state fees. I agree. I'm not the only one that has to agree, though. You guys are also
Yeah,
welcome
no,
to pipe
no.
in.
I agree.
No, I think we got it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Those look like all of the edits.
Then I would make a motion to approve the minutes as they stand.
Second.
And it looks like you're muted.
Trying to keep the dogs from barking.
Oh.
Second,
Oh, she seconded before me, but she was
it
muted.
doesn't matter, but
It
I'm
doesn't.
good either way.
Put Hayden felt because she was on
Okay.
the verbal record. Perfect. Thanks.
Okay,
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, aye,
hey,
aye.
And that passes. Moving along to approval of meeting minutes from February 19th, 2026, joint meeting with town council. Town council just approved these on Tuesday, but if there is anything that we see to make edits to, You're welcome to. I don't see any on this
I didn't
document.
find anything, but
Fabulous work, Aaron. Not the other one.
I move to approve the Bluff Planning and Zoning joint work session minutes from February 19th as presented.
I'll second that.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, passes unanimously. The meeting minutes have been approved. And moving right along, public comment. We don't have anyone here in public and I don't see anyone on the line.
Chair's empty.
The chair is empty. We placed one chair.
We would have
Did you
got
really?
second.
All right, moving on to old business. Update from town council.
As probably the representative for town council today, the liaison to, so outside of the joint meeting, which really appreciate everyone's, work on. They have had one meeting, which was this Tuesday, March 3rd. During that meeting, there was an ordinance passed, that is a speed limit ordinance. Specifically, council had talked about passing, or had talked about speed limits a few years ago, but there was never actually anything signed into law. So with that, there is an ordinance now. The speed limit, unless otherwise posted, is 20 miles an hour on all town streets and roads, with the exception of Bluff Bench Road, which they are going to default to what was posted up there, which is 50 miles an hour. There are also some signs around the curves for 40 miles an hour. So that is signed, and Michael, his manager, is working on purchasing additional signs. So what we should see, you know, we're not gonna put 20 miles an hour everywhere, but like on each end of town, 20 miles an hour unless otherwise posted kind of stuff. On April 7th, there will be a public hearing for an amended budget for this fiscal year at 4 p.m. We also, Malia and I gave an update, Bluff is participating in the Utah Wellbeing Survey again. That's taking place from now until March 20th, Friday, March 20th. So we definitely encourage the public to participate, for you all to participate. I will get something posted online, but I'll send out reminder emails as well. It should take, you know, maybe 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. And it's conducted by USU and we get the results. It's completely anonymous, but we invite people to participate because it helps kind of guide, you know, our understanding of how things are going, as well as the greater region in Utah. And then finally, I think the one that might touch on you all as we talk about WUI and things like that, would be the fuels reduction mitigation weekend, fire mitigation weekend. So Malia is coordinating all of that. She is amazing. So on Friday, March 27th and Saturday, March 28th from 8 to noon, folks can drop off materials at the CCC, similar to what we did last year. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people who want stuff picked up, because we're going to have people driving around and picking stuff up from the curb. We're not driving onto your property. And then volunteers to just help at the CCC as well. So get the word out, get those fuels piled up and ready, and yeah, do your part.
Fabulous.
What did I
Thank you.
miss? They did, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna
just have a
say,
question.
The only other thing, kind of in talking with budget, we also have a community impact board prioritization list. Which the town submits to CIB if they wanted to put in an application. So the council did talk about that list and prioritizing it to align with their 2026 goals. Sorry, go ahead, Marcia.
I just had a question back to the well care survey. Are we penalized in any way for not doing it?
No, not at all. So it's free through the state, which is fantastic. They are trying to get markers. Last time I think we had, or I think the first time we had like 90 respondents, which is just really awesome. But there's no penalty. We, the town, are not paying any money for them to conduct this. But we were very grateful that they asked us to participate again.
Yeah, because it's every 2 years.
I think so, yeah.
This is the third year that we've participated.
Yes.
Bluff is good at surveys.
We like a good survey. And it does help inform, you know, not only the government, but just kind of regionally, if there are other, San Juan County is working on grants and things like that, there are definitely benefits to indicating how the public feels about living, working in, even traveling to Bluff. We definitely have had participants who, live out of Bluff, but they're here a lot, who have participated, and all of those are welcome to participate.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't decided, so I need all the input I need.
Totally fair.
Question on budget. I know that we have training coming up in a little bit. Is there a specific budget, I would take allocation for planning and zoning training?
There is not a line item for that, but that's a really good question. And, not only just for the amended budget, but for future stuff. So I will take that back. Do you have an estimated amount that is helpful, or are you just saying like, hey, we need something in there?
Well, yeah, just curious if there would be a way for us to kind of guide our training. I know that there's a planning training coming up that's like $250 and it's in St. George. It's not necessarily something I'm really interested in, but this Utah, oh man, what's that one called? The Land Use Institute, that one was $50, and that's the one that will be streaming for everyone here in person. So I don't know, maybe even if it was
$50.
It's like an all day.
Yeah.
Oh, the house one
Yeah.
that you said yes, and I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, not that one.
Yeah.
But no, you're
This one's
good.
gonna be on a big screen here with popcorn.
we're talking,
That's what I've been told.
but it was the
Yeah,
housing,
for sure.
the housing
I'll bring-
was this first one we're talking.
Yes.
This is the-
Yeah, so there's,
And that's a good thing to think about too, because like if we want to send a planning and zoning commissioner to one of the conferences
Right.
this year, to kind of get more in-person experiences. I will.
Just as a hint to that, recalling all the stuff I did through the county, there was in fact a budget that I certainly wasn't paying to to go for the registration, nor was I paying to stay in the overnight hotel kind of thing. So I think that's the way you'd have to look at it.
yeah,
It's just how many people go and how many,
Right.
so-
yeah, or I wonder if it would make sense if we were to set aside like $1,000 a year and we rotate who goes on the commission to the league or something.
Yeah, it's probably just a good idea to capture something on a line item though, so that it starts being put in there and then it can be adjusted in the future based on what we actually use too.
Sounds great. I was also, I don't know where I was driving. I was like, we need a town car, like a town deal,
Yeah.
so we don't have to like
Yes.
reimburse the fuel. Well, no, I was looking at the really old one that San Juan County has. It's like this really old sedan, and I was like, we could pick up like a $500 sedan.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't get by.
No, that's for another line item budget discussion, but I will definitely put in there training dollars, and then if you all can kind of like help me track too, things that are coming up that you're like, well, I'm not necessarily gonna participate in this year, but in the future I would, and here's the cost, and here's the time allocation and stuff like that. That would be helpful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Also in the line item, who's gonna maintain that car?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I changed my tire the other day. Sorry.
Does he want to maintain the town vehicle?
He does know.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Always figure O&M when you have something physical.
Yeah, right.
Very
Right.
true, very true.
And I see your chat that your internet keeps on going in and out, so let us know if there's anything that we can do to help. If you need to call in, that also would be just fine. All right,
Right now,
update-
you're all right there.
Perfect. Glad to hear it. So the update from the building department, we received an email from Kristen saying that she was not going to attend, but she did share the building department update.
Yeah,
I have some extremely small print up on.
yeah.
Did everyone get the chance to review this?
Yes, and I was grateful to Kristen for color code
Mhm.
and for, division of, so I was able to follow it. I don't, what's just interesting to me, just as a comment, is the idea that some of the things that are sort of open and closed and where are they in the things, but we don't have to worry That's her job, you know, that's their job. So yes, I definitely appreciate this. This was nice.
Yeah, I like it as well. I love the color code. Action item up to date completed.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, big thank you to the building department for
Yeah.
keeping up on all of this. And just a reminder to folks, I think as we're getting into building season, we do have a building department. We've got processes. If you have a question, whether you need a building permit or not, it's free to ask and we are happy to answer. And so I would just encourage folks, you know, if you think that you might need one, if you are doing major electrical work, if you are doing an addition, if you are doing plumbing stuff, please ask if you need a building permit. We want to make sure that you are working with our code inspector to get this, you know, to get things corrected. And I think, I don't know if this is talk about the certificate of occupancy.
I did not know.
I was actually very excited to see the first certificate of occupancy being issued
There it is.
for the town of Bluff. Here we
Woo-hoo.
It is amazing. So I don't want to like taunt people with that, but hey,
They exist.
if
Yeah.
you're doing work and we send the building official out to work with you, you too will get one of those, which a lot of people here in Bluff don't have. So that was our thing. We're not requiring people get that, but if they're doing work and they go through all the steps, then they can get one for their residence or commercial building. So it's a very exciting thing, and I was thrilled to see that come across my emails. So
Beautiful document.
yeah, but just let us know what questions you have. We are happy to help.
Yes. Good call. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
New business, land use clearance approval. I do not have any. Does anyone else have any? Soon we will be able to take this off of our agenda, I believe, but until then, it will remain.
Well,
Number 4, discussion of resident inquiry, recreation vehicle on lot. Brian.
oh,
would you like to
yeah,
take this
let's talk about this real fast. Yeah, we'll be quick about it. It's not a super prolonged discussion we need to have, but. We just got a question from a resident about, and I sent it around to everybody and then a follow-up she had sent about. Use of her lot, she had bought it with the setups on, with the hookups on it initially, I believe, and had been renting it as a single space. For an RV for what would qualify as long-term rental historically. There was I think what brought up, I talked to her on the phone today too, and what brought up the concern was that while someone was staying there, another person sort of maybe outside of her control had another trailer on the property. And then said person, and we all kind of know what happened, we don't need to get into the parameters around what happened with that. I believe now, Malia and I did a site visit today.
Oh, good.
Before, and right now it's just all the trailers have been removed.
Okay.
And when I spoke to her, she just wanted to know what. Essentially, it sounded like she had gotten some information that because that second trailer had been there, she was gonna get in a lot of trouble and yada yada. And so she just wants to know going forward what she can do, what applies, blah, 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 blah. So I just wanted to double check with everybody to make sure we were all on the same page. And I'm just gonna respond to her. My understanding is basically that she our understanding of what we saw is that there's good hookups, there's utilities. If she has one person who's renting and she's continuing the same business that was taking on before, she would be fine. However, if it's only one, it can only be one RV that's being rented for a short term as our ordinances are written. Does that sound correct?
Long term.
As a long term, if she does, well, if she had a short, right, as a long term rental.
Yeah.
Did I say short term?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry too. I just want to make sure we're all.
Yeah,
safe.
100%, yeah, sorry, this is,
Yeah.
it has to be, right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
does that sound like everybody's understanding of it as it stands?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a couple of clarifying things. It's a residential it's zone residential.
Yeah,
And for our current zoning that was just passed on December 2nd of last year, on a residential lot, you are allowed to have an RV, but you are not allowed to have an RV park. It becomes an RV park once you have 2 spaces that are being rented out. And the current use that this person is doing is,
yeah, so current use is fine, a second lot, I mean, if she wanted to have we were just getting into the world of like. Thought experiment, if she wanted to try and get additional rentals, she would have to get into the world of. Building full on, like have some ADU and shoehorning them into a non-conforming lot and. Yeah, so it seems like she's good to keep doing what she's doing. It might be too much work, Brian. Increase anything on that law for her too. That's-
I guess my two comments, the first one is, no, she's not in trouble for something that happened.
Right, exactly, that's what.
Rented the, you know,
Right.
so the way it is, stop.
Not in trouble. No one's getting in trouble.
No one's getting in trouble for something that
Yeah.
passed by in the night, as it were. That was my first. The second comment I have is, this is just a perfect example of what we were trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Can someone live on their funny little small lot
Mhm.
and put an RV there to live because it fits
Yeah.
nicely and the hookups there? Absolutely, that's kind of where we were trying to go with the, anything from affordable housing to, you know, so that's good. It's just the decision was, but we don't want it to become a parking lot of RVs.
Right.
So I think
Same.
we've just interpreted it correctly.
Or, yeah,
The only thing that we noticed today while we were looking at code is that it
Oh, yeah,
doesn't it doesn't actually say in our code, so I'm gonna read it out loud.
yeah,
Of 6.4.6.40.10, mobile/modular homes, tiny houses, mobile home parks, and RV parks. B is RV and tiny houses where allowed. Recreational vehicles, tiny houses on wheels, or tiny houses shall only be placed or used as a dwelling in authorized recreational vehicle parks or mobile home parks or set, except that RVs or THOWs may be placed as a special exception as set forth in this subsection. So these next 6 are the only times that you can have an RV or a THOW outside of a RV park or a mobile home park.
yeah, we're,
Parked and occupied for a period not to exceed 24 hours on a public street or public right of way. Where a person has obtained a building permit for the construction of a dwelling, you can live in that space for a year. If it's non-operable, you can use it as a storage structure. No more than one RV or THOW may be placed or occupied as a dwelling with the permission of a landowner for a short-term use of less than 30 days. Unoccupied RVs or THOWs may be stored on private property not to exceed 2 per acre, or on a non-conforming lot may be placed and occupied if it complies with section non-conforming. So what it doesn't say here is that you can live in your RV on your land.
yeah, we were trying to find somewhere where it actually says
Huh.
you're allowed to have a single RV on your own land.
I'm living.
And that it can be a primary residence for you as long as it's hooked up and, yeah.
Wait.
So,
So to clarify, though, they can rent it to someone to live in, but they themselves cannot live in it?
right, well, this is, we may have excluded the text that says that on a residential lot. You can
Living in,
live in an RV as your primary,
or as your rental
or
primary.
as your rental
dwelling.
primary, right?
Dwelling,
Right.
is an
right,
RV a
exactly.
dwelling
Dwelling.
on a lot? Is it
Yeah.
your dwelling? Fine. Is it a rental dwelling?
Fine.
Fine, but
It's just-
is it allowed? And we want it to be, do we not?
I thought so, right, that's what we were worried about, is that we had accidentally passed something that said that didn't include making it okay for. Someone to have that as their primary,
You know, because
right,
Sharon did, I mean, the example we're using here is a perfect example.
Yeah.
She lived there for a while, for a long time, you know, she
Yeah.
bought it, she fixed it up, she lived there. And then she moved away, so she rented it. All of the above sounds like what we
Right.
want it
Yeah.
to
what we
be,
want to have, right,
but did we blow the language?
we're just wondering if there's.
As we're going through the zoning code this year, I think we're gonna wanna add a little bit more information to that saying, yes,
Well, I
you may
think
live
It
there.
is funny, because I think in residential districts in the more overriding code, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Which is where you could have it put allowed,
right,
and it would do it, it's not included
It's
there.
not
yet.
included there either.
okay,
So it
so
says
resident,
single-family
right,
houses, ADUs, accessories, duplexes, apartments, condominiums, parks, open spaces,
Right.
blah, then mobile home parks, but it never says. You
RV,
can have an RV and live in it as your
Right.
primary, because we
Okay.
have a
But-
lot of
but-
people who do that.
But what we did say, well, on F, on a non-conforming lot, it can
Okay.
be placed and occupied as long as it basically meets the section, which says you're within the setbacks and
Setbacks,
everything.
so-
So we tried to say it there, but so you're only allowed to live in an RV on a non-conforming lot. So, Caitlin, yes.
Well, one of the things I think that's interesting
We
about,
can do.
I think we just left it out of that first.
I think what's interesting about this is what my sister, the attorney, always says, speak English. Stop going in
Right,
circles.
right, right, right.
You can
How do we
have an
make-
RV on the lot.
Right, exactly.
Period, end
Make it
of sentence.
plain.
Go ahead, Caitlin, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no worries at all. I just wanted to call out 6.4010 section A, where it's
Right.
like, where permitted mobile homes, modular homes, or tiny houses shall be permitted as a use by right as a primary dwelling or accessory dwelling unit. And so how does that, I guess my question is like maybe a point of clarification. Is that only where permitted, i.e. only in a mobile park development, or is that use by right writ large, where if there is
That's saying at large, yeah, I think that 64010A is, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that's saying that it's allowed, like, if it
Right.
was allowed in residential, you can use those as a sub-in for primary dwellings or ADUs in any place that allows primary dwellings and ADUs. So in my opinion, like, you should be able to, like, we should include the word RV and not just modular home, tiny home, blah, 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 in that initial permitting, and then it clears everything up, because then it's just saying,
Allow
you can
use.
also just have a trailer that's hooked up correctly as your primary. Again, the big asterisk again, always just being, these things have to be done to the standards of utilities. So
Yeah.
it's not saying you can just put a trailer on the land, it's saying you can put a trailer that has proper
Sewer.
septic and hookups,
right?
And go ahead. Oh, sorry.
right?
Is the definition of a mobile home different than an RV in
Oh,
code?
God.
Don't you?
Oh,
Yes.
It is,
I'm like
technically.
that.
That's why they did break them out separately. I
Right.
do remember that discussion.
Right.
But yeah, so my concern is our code then does not say that she can do this right now.
Well, but.
Oh, actually, yes, because it's probably a non-conforming lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
right,
nope, you're
that's-
totally right. It's only because
So,
it's not.
it is
You're right, I'm so
totally
sorry,
trying to-
I'm so sorry.
But that's not, but this
It's only
speaks
because
to-
it's non-conforming.
That speaks to the problem.
Yeah.
Like, this should be allowed for anybody, because the way that Malia and I were talking about it was like at our house, like at my house. I can have my house, and then I could have an ADU, and those things could be rented, or I could live in them. But it shouldn't matter if. I shouldn't get that right just because it's a house, like someone else, if they wanna do those same. Have those same opportunities with an RV because they can't have a house, we're trying to allow that, so we just need to make that available by right.
Yeah, make that a lot clearer.
I mean, that takes a process.
And go ahead.
I have a question, about, because obviously I wasn't here when you all did these RV rules. What happens to like all those RVs on Cottonwood? Are those, I don't I'm sorry, I'm sure this is something you all talked about last year. But I don't understand that. And then I don't understand the RV that was just pulled in front of Cody's place, which I know he wants to use as a place to live when he's down here on the river. I guess I just don't understand where these finite things are.
I think that just comes to enforcement.
Yeah, the first one is that, the first answer is those ones on Cottonwood, you're talking over kind of behind the school, but Ned and Tina, as you head to Ned and Tina's over there.
No, I'm talking about Cottonwood, as it goes from here down to Cottonwood Wash Road, or whatever that road is called. There's
Six in a
like
row, yeah.
4 RVs there.
Okay, the answer to that, Ann, is that it's grandfathered in. We can't just go over and pull their RVs. However, if they go to do anything there, we stop them and say, you've now started to do something that requires the new, all the codes to kick in, meaning you would have to become technically an RV park. They are not. So, but I also don't know like ownership over there or anything else. I just know where you're talking about.
There are a great deal of different parcels over there. Most of those RVs are on separate parcels,
There
so
you
they
go.
probably also fall under the non-conforming,
There you go.
which should also be something that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot to think about on lot size because
Yeah.
we've just been schooled on sewer availability on small lots. And that's an interesting thing for us to address later, is lot size. They
Yeah.
may well become conforming lots.
Yeah,
Ta-da!
right, exactly, just true.
So that, yeah, and there's so much that we did in doing this RV ordinance added into our big ordinance that has either come to our attention like tonight, or may change due to building department explanations like lot size. We don't know what we're doing yet, but those are the things that this group is going to actually have to address to do that.
Yeah.
But grandfathering in means nobody's in trouble for anything they already did.
Yes, I want to move on to this from this quickly or soon,
Yeah.
but I do want to thank the resident for bringing
Yeah,
something to
absolutely.
us, because that is exactly the way that we dig into our code, figure out where we have our holes. And so, statement to the public, please continue bringing things to us, please continue asking questions, because we work for you. We want to figure these things out with you, for you, especially right now as we're doing this zoning rework. Now is the time for us to find our holes.
So the next step is.
Yeah,
you're
so I
going
will
to
write her
answer-
an email back. I told her I would just get back to her the day after the meeting, so I'll send her an email that just says that as our understanding right now, you can. Businesses, it has occurred there before with one RV hooked up in its proper, in the spot that she has is totally good to keep doing. Right,
To live in or to rent.
to live in or to rent.
And to confirm, it's meeting setbacks, has the
Yeah,
on-site wastewater,
Yeah.
all of that good
Yeah,
stuff.
it has a
Still
septic
following.
right below it, it has, all the stubs are perfectly there and
That's
and
Great.
ready to go. Looks, actually, it's very well kept.
Yeah.
This is like a
Yeah.
best case scenario
It's a
for
great
everyone.
spot.
Oh,
so
one
yeah,
question
great
we
job.
did have was about that, the one question, it doesn't, we measured and it's not gonna matter either way. But setbacks from the road,
Doesn't matter. So,
where does that, but
So-
where do we measure from if we have a tape measure?
okay, so this is where it gets into a
Yeah.
little bit of the ugliness
Okay.
with where does the actual parcel begin?
Right.
And
Okay.
then we have issues as well that our parcel maps don't meet survey and meets and bounds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So ideally, we would look at a survey, we'd go find whatever survey marker corner it is and we go from there. That's really tricky out here.
yeah,
So, maybe the only other thing you remind, this landowner of is, to ensure that they know where their
Yeah.
parcel is and the town does have, rights of way on town roads, so we can provide service and access and all that good stuff. But yeah, for you all conducting site visits, it does get really tricky. Where I can help, let me know, cause I can find some of this parcel information. But certainly on that non-conforming one, just remind her, we know it's small, we know it's non-conforming,
Yeah.
these are the setbacks, so.
yeah, well, it seemed definitely from our measurement, she was clear 40+ feet from the edge of the road, so we figured.
We were,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tricky, it's.
Yeah, without those corners, I mean, like, and then I look at like, I mean, I know what you're saying, like, it's like when we look at when we found our corners on our lot, you're like, all of a sudden, you're like, wait a second, these
I got
roads are not built in relation to this lot.
all Gene Boucher's trees when we had our.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah, so I mean, also, this is like what I was saying to her too, the importance of like going out to her house. The other part, I mean, this goes to your point about site visits, it's also about context, and it's like, it helps us see the person and what their issue is versus just thinking about it.
yeah.
And thank you to her for letting you all conduct that.
I know, that was so
visit
great.
about her, like,
Yeah.
that really helped us.
It made a huge difference, and she was, so yeah, that's another thing to say to the public, thanks
Yeah.
for being
Thank you.
welcome.
Right, and remember, if there's more than two of you, it has to be public noticed.
Yeah, we have this new idea though, of wearing hats that say, we have 3 hats that say P and Z, and if anyone shows up with the full set, you know it's a forum. But if it's just the P and the Z, P and the and.
Or the and.
Yeah, the and, we have this idea of like, we were wearing hats, and nothing, like, there's a way to keep quorum from happening.
I like that, that's good.
I'm nerdy. I'm sorry.
Just a reminder, and we would do that, we would set it, yeah, okay, we're gonna go out to the subdivision because we've got to figure out what they're talking about at the subdivision. You'd want people to, you'd
So
want-
yeah, would that be the same What is alerts for a site visit gonna be the same length of time that a public knows? has to
You're
be for-
supposed to 24 hours or,
Yeah.
it's
Same effect
notice.
if anything.
It's notice,
Cool.
yep.
Yep.
So since two of you went, we're safe,
Yeah.
but
So it doesn't have to be so stretched out. You can do it somewhat short notice, but it still has to be posted.
you could have done it, if she had sent this information over
Yeah.
the weekend, as she, if we're all talking about it, you could have said, okay, it's Tuesday, I say we all go at 10 o'clock Thursday
Right.
morning, and you post that, and we can all meet and
Okay.
go.
So we can do it at the same time, it just has to be done in that window. Cool.
Just the
Perfect.
public has to be there.
Fabulous.
Great.
Thanks for taking care of the correspondence, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Brian and Marcia.
Oh, yeah, thanks for getting back. I was driving to my injury.
Ouch. Well, mostly it was because my name was on it, and I know she's reached out to me
Did she
before.
reach out to you directly, it looked like? That's what.
She sometimes has and does, just because that was my job and it turned into me. And that's why I sort of said, please,
We had a great combo today. I'm sure she'll direct them to me in the future.
perfect.
Perfect. All right, moving along, discussion and vote of goals for 2026. I have our goals draft pulled up somewhere. I have it for you guys to see, but now I can't find it. Okay, so at that last meeting, we discussed all of our goals, and town council came back and told us what their thoughts were. It looks like we have some edits that have come on. Right?
Yeah, it was. Did I write that or did someone
Who's
else?
a guest user?
Who's a guest views? Well, because I wrote the one under the site visit one, and it says guest user also.
Interesting.
And that is interesting. How come I'm not me? Okay. Okay. The first one on cemeteries, we have to do a cemetery district. Is that a zone that we create? I'm sorry, they did the district, we have to do the zone. So I'm just asking what that means. I've never done one. So the cemetery committee comes to us and says what they need. Is that where we are?
I think that's, I don't know. Oh, well, I can dig into this further.
I wonder if this is one that might be like a good overlay.
That's what
because
exactly what I was
we
thinking.
haven't done a whole lot of overlays with the exception of the airport facilities and the airport.
That the air distance airline
Yeah.
stuff.
It's all air and apparently now cemeteries.
I think
But
this-
yeah, I think an overlay might be a good way to go, and I can connect with the cemetery board to ensure that they get a recommendation for the specific areas that should be included in that. I will note, currently in the cemetery ordinance, burials are not allowed on private property.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's something that, oh yeah. I don't know if that's something that council would be looking to change, or if they're gonna get input from the cemetery board on that particular matter. But we'll just need to marry all those things together, and make
but
sure.
it's legal in Utah with descriptive things in
Right, yeah.
San Juan County.
Utah doesn't have any regulations on it, but in the cemetery ordinance that was just passed,
They
it's
didn't.
not allowed.
Explicitly is not allowed?
Correct.
Huh.
Yeah, so.
Well, and frankly, it's gotta be regulated because
Big time.
the loud,
That's a
not all
separate-
going out in our
separate-
backyards to bury people, but
Yeah,
But-
Didn't we
what-
just have one?
yes,
I
but,
know, it's-
well, we
I
did,
think
but,
the
yeah.
timing of that would have been quite interesting.
Yeah.
well, but
But yes, we
'Cause-
did. Not we. There was one that happened.
Yeah.
and when I read about it, because I was thinking that same thing, I came up with, you have to GPS it and take it to the recorder's office. And you have to have, was it more than an acre or something like that, or whatever. So there was allowed. And I believe that all of this was before the cemetery ordinance. However, you're smiling like you might have looked at the date.
I was definitely not in town and around. I think the dates don't necessarily align, but just an
Okay.
information to the public. And if this is something you feel really strongly about, one way or another, public comment can go to the cemetery board or to town council, as they will probably be reviewing that.
Right.
Yeah,
So cemetery seems to me like something that will come up for us. You know, please, because I picture it just like you said, overlay. And it's town of Bluff with private cemetery, because that sits like that, whatever. Okay, okay.
Okay, so I've broken this goals document into the top three goals: prioritize P and Z professional development, enforcement, which would be a code review and sharing their thoughts with town council, and then this full zoning code rework. Which includes the housing, making new maps with those overlays, with the cemetery, open lands, flood resilience guidelines. So that is, in my opinion, I'd like to move that to number one.
yeah, that's sort of the
Cause that should be, in my opinion, is
Yeah,
maybe the first
yeah.
thing we do.
potato of the year,
Yeah,
as they say.
and
My
then
people say.
Huh.
I'm gonna say, whoa, what'd I do? Down here for just suggestions for us. These aren't necessarily goals. These are just things
Right.
that we want to keep in mind.
Perfect.
And
Which
so
is-
we just,
yep.
in that case, only have two goals, and it's zoning code rework and enforcement. And then our suggestions are prioritize professional development,
Yeah,
site visit planning, investigate options to expand affordable housing options that are within our scope. Actually, I feel like that kind of combines with number 4. Adopting flood resilience and guidelines, recommendations, and then
Well, that's up
land
there.
use regulation.
That's up there. The the
These
flood lines
two
is under, yeah,
actually fall into
yeah.
number 1.
Numero uno, and then, yeah, take off all my stuff. Site visit is just a reminder that we can all work together to go do that, okay? Or send people to go do that.
Yeah. So, do we need to officially vote on these?
I think we have in the past.
Okay.
But are there any comments before we do? Hang on, can we just read for 1 second?
For sure.
I take the question mark roll from cemetery. Feels like that's the question after they all heard.
Do we want one? We don't want one.
Anyone online have any comments on the goals / suggestions?
Prioritize P and Z professional development, individual interest guides goal. Oh, so we follow up on what we are passionate about?
Yes.
Okay. And we don't have to if we're not?
I'm sorry, I have no passion.
Yes, there is no passion or it just exists. I think
Okay.
this is great. I
Yeah.
also agree with the idea of trimming it down, because that
Yeah.
first one realistically could take longer than P and Z's entire scheduled year.
Agreed.
No, I'm not, I mean, as we've seen with you and right, so that could be a huge
Yeah.
deal, so.
We're getting closer every time because we're not working from a blank page
Right.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's so much easier to edit what you have than it
Yeah.
is to start from zero and write it.
Yeah.
So
And with real life
fixing the
experience.
words in the RV ordinance or we're doing better.
I would entertain a motion for approval of our 2026 goals.
I will make a motion to approve our 2026 goals. As they are written in front of us, as they are presented here.
Okay, I'll second because I beat the girls on the screen. I was waiting for someone to jump in. I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
I,
Fabulous, unanimous, we have goals.
I think I should be writing my life goals.
Yeah,
Right. Okay, number 6, the moment we've all been waiting for. Discussion of legislative assignments, land use legislation that may impact Bluff. So, I don't know how it always happens that we get to like 6:45 when we start this discussion. So.
this idea works.
Are we chatting? I pulled up the emails that had those assignments in it, but I can't find it. So, oh, here it is.
It was right in the email you sent too.
Yeah,
There
it was
it
back and
is.
forth.
Oh my goodness. So if we just want to start working our way down, 10-20-507, the enlisted business uses
Oh
process.
my God, this
Brilliant.
one was wrong.
So just real quick
Yeah.
let's start with this discussion of, is this something we need to be worried about? And then, if it is, a brief synopsis.
Can someone, okay, so then let's, in the 8,000 lines that were in the really big one that I was trying to find, where does one hunt it down? Whether it is applicable to a town based off of size or not, because I couldn't, the other one that I was looking at was so big. I didn't know what to find or like.
Does it will tell you sometimes the different municipality level,
Oh, okay.
numbers 1 through 5, right? And we
And
are,
then town.
So it's
Yeah.
later,
Town, and then
so that would be a tag before you're even in it, right?
so
Potentially.
Okay. So, yeah, like maybe sometimes you also.
can you just tell us what it is for real quick, just,
Oh, this, I wasn't even talking about this one. This one is the 10-20-507 outlines the required process for municipalities to handle classification of new and unlisted business uses. So it, statute ensures that business activities that do not align with an existing land use in local ordinances can still be reviewed, approved, and assigned to appropriate zoning districts. So we have to have, I mean, I would assume this one would apply to us. I didn't see why it wouldn't. Other than I didn't find any labels that said whether or not it did, but it just means that we have to incorporate a system for allowing someone to appeal a land use that is not listed in our zoning code. So there just has to be a system in place for someone to say, hey, I wanna do this in this zone, and I do this. And then there has to be an appeal, and then we also have to give them an appeals process if they don't like our answer. I mean, it reads a little bit like the state's saying you have to let everybody have a chance to do whatever they want. They say it's for innovative capitalism, so they're basically saying like you have to give people the option to do something in a place that you've said they can't, or at least present to you why they should be allowed to.
when this was zoned by the county, Bluff was entirely an enterprise zone. And
Right,
Bluff being entirely zoned as an enterprise zone meant the county could just go, poof, you're a engine engine manufacturer in downtown Bluff, or poof, you're, because people would come with big ideas that might not fit in the neighborhood, but the whole thing was zoned to, so they might not, but they could give permission. So I think that's what they're looking for here, and I think that just runs to, if I might,
yeah,
I think it might run to, when we go through our
Right.
updated ordinance, check the businesses. Do we have a place for engine manufacturing? Industrial, if we even have industrial. So it'll behoove us to know what the businesses are.
exactly, and what they think, right? Yep, so I think this one does not require, like the questions you asked too, I don't think it requires any map changes or any. It just needs language added into the ordinance and a process for.
Is our town council our board of appeals at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah. So that would be the process, right? They would then do it through them, so. Yep, but so this one doesn't seem like that mega of a change.
Just nice to know, so that as we're getting into what we're doing.
Yes.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
House Bill 48, Wildland Urban Interface Zones, Marcia.
Okay, so
Dinner.
here's the deal. We don't have to do anything. It's
Oh,
not,
okay.
no, it's not planning and zoning per se, okay? It is a town decision to map the WUI. Are we in fact in a wilderness urban interface zone? And where do we want that map to sit? And then once you do that, and you're part of the whole fire system of the state and county and all of that good stuff, then individuals coming forward to the building department will say, I'm gonna build a house. And the building department will open up the WUI map and say, okay, you sit within our WUI. And in that WUI, you're in a moderate to low. That means you only have to meet one criteria metal roof, or I don't, and I'm just making up the words of what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to meet the rest. Or, ta-da, you're building what? On the side of the hill with the trees around you? You have to provide fire suppression, you have to provide a turnaround in your driveway because it's long, you know, the trucks have to get to you. So individuals then become responsible for what, when they bring their building permit and say, this is what I'm doing, which by the way is building new or major remodel stuff. So it's, you know, so we can't do that. The town council has to decide where that is. What comes to us, I believe, is help with the determination of what the land is in there. So if they go like this for the WUI, and we look up and go, oh man, we put high density residential right on top of some trees, you know, oops, we should change this to agricultural, or, you know, look to not necessarily change, but and that's not happened yet. So to me, after a lot of reading, I mean, it's a fascinating topic, actually.
Yeah.
To me, I think we're second to this. I think we listen to town council, determine what they want to do about the WUI mapping, and then they can bring it to us to look at and say, here at your next meeting, would you just look over the map? And we go, oh, wait, but we can't be responsible for it. I know Josh mentioned, okay, well, P and Z should be looking at the maps. Yes, if that's where the WUI is, if so, in my estimation, I would like to wait for direction from town council to specifically do something WUI.
Sounds.
I know that there was a House bill out relating to it in this session.
I have no idea what happened.
Okay.
Caitlin may a little later, we could ask, I think it was House Bill. I've got it written 50 different places.
127 or was it?
No, 150 something. And what it said was that you wouldn't have to be responsible for sort of, one of the lines they added to it was you wouldn't have to be responsible for anything WUI if it wasn't a 5 or above. And we do have some 5-ish stuff here. We don't have any of the high risk.
Yeah.
But we do have some risk. And it's so funny the way the coloring is on this map. My house was low and Josh's house was moderate, you know, or whatever. And of course, we're laughing because the biggest fire we've had was the Cottonwood Wash, you know, or whatever, or the cemetery, and those were lower than Sutton. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
what? So I believe that town needs to figure that out. And then we look at anything that intersects our zones and go, hey, we might want to look at this.
Okay.
That's
we-
my take.
What the bill number was, Marcia? I know it was a Peterson bill, right?
That sounds right. I'll look while we're talking. So go on to something else. I will find you this year's bill because I knew I took lots of notes.
And so to wrap up House Bill 48, so you recommend that we tell council that this is their decision?
Them
and
first,
them first, and then
if
to
they
us.
need us, you know, because we have to do House Bill 48. We have
Yeah.
to make a determination of WUI, because that triggers what Josh was explaining about payments and, you know, the help with our fire department or whatever. Some of that is all integrated. So HB 48 exists. We must comply, but I don't think it's planning and zoning yet. And Caitlin, I'll keep looking while we go on.
Sounds great. Thank you, Marcia. Okay, and creating agricultural protection zones.
So I went to the Utah Department of Agriculture and Food and looked at the agricultural protection areas. And I read through our rules, as it were, with our agricultural districts. And I do not see that there is going to be anything that we have to deal with on that. But I'd be glad to read all the agricultural A1 A2 blah blah districts if anyone's interested.
I trust your judgment. Thank you.
I wouldn't trust that. That's scary. But on this, I have
Fabulous. Thank you, Anne. House Bill 37, multifamily density standards. Caitlin.
Fun bill doesn't apply to us unless we want it to. Cool bill that allows us to establish an overlay zone if we want to like enact incentives for like dense housing development. So if there was a piece like our parcel in town or like a couple of different parcels, right, we could hypothetically develop an incentive structure for the zoning of that use and enact an overlay that would allow us to put more residential residential buildings in that space than what we already have approved in code.
Fabulous.
And then everything else is only for counties or cities and towns over 5,000 people. So we can kind of decide what we want to pick from that. Good bill.
Senate Bill 268, first home investment zones. That one was mine. So this was a similar to what Caitlin is saying. This was one that we could do that we don't necessarily have to. And it's a first home investment zone is approved by a committee. I've been trying to check to see if San Juan County has one. Chatting with the other municipalities, they had no idea what I was talking about. So I don't think the county has one. But it is a way for municipality to meet the moderate income housing plan as required to be in our general plan. But I don't know if that's actually something that we need to meet. So,
Towns are not required to have a moderate income housing portion of the general plan.
yeah. So if that ever comes around that we do have to have one, this is one way for us to meet that if we choose to. And it is basically what it sounds like, first home investment zone, similar to the density standards for multifamily that Caitlin was just talking about. So House Bill 368, development assurances / bonds. Ryan.
Goodness. This is the one that I mean, it says that it applies to municipalities, counties and developers. But are we not a municipality?
We are a municipality.
Yeah, so this one applies to us and it's 10,000 lines long. And it's about, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, this one was like. The extent of it is over my head. I have tried to like use AI software to like get it to swallow a little bit better, but it's about bond releases, warranty periods, construction bonding. It's mostly about, my understanding of it is its overall aim is at expediting the process for developers to be able to do subdivision projects. I think, I don't know, this is my like 30,000 foot view. And it involves things like changing the systems for how you can bond, how much you can bond, like how the bond release periods, the warranty periods of the bonds have been shortened to a year. There's, yeah, so I do believe that it is going to require changing. But I would assume that the thing, I don't know though, then I'm like, we just had this huge subdivision thing written by someone who. So my guess is that we would just look at what they wrote and we would find that they were on board with it. And that they did it, they were looking at this, you know, down the pipeline, I assume. So my guess is that it's all in there, but we'll probably just need to go and verify that it's all in that. And that those changes were included. I mean, you could also just be sending an email to them and stuff. Guys, was the changes for HB 368 included? If they say yes, then we're like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Did-
maybe just report to them.
Did the short title change in 2025? The like version that I'm pulling up says local land use amendments, but I might be an idiot.
That's definitely not true.
No, you're definitely, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't.
Just be not doing a solid Google.
HB 368 says what?
On the version I'm pulling up, it says the short title is local land use amendments and not development assurances / bonds.
Is it in there though? Is it one of the amendments?
I don't know. I was
It's the two-
and if you knew.
Is it from a different session? This is from last year's session. Are you looking at 2026 by any chance?
I'm looking at 2025, 2026 is a cold plunge bill.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I know. It was like, you're allowed to do cold plunge. What a shame. No, that's strange, because the one I'm looking at
Huh.
is, I'm looking at HP 368 and it's the. Yeah,
Yeah, and did you find it, Caitlin?
I'm still digging, but I'm sure I trust you.
My comment would be that I completely agree with Brian that we should make sure that anything in our subdivision code is up to date with the current things. I think one of the important things here is just to make sure that we understand a process for Bluff for development bonds. I always use the example of that stupid tram to nowhere in Moab at the corner, the River Road tram that went nowhere, and it sat there forever. And I know no details except rumors that, well, yeah, they pulled their bond and then there was no money to take it down, and there was, those kinds of things. So all I'm looking for is Bluff to have a process for development bond for weird stuff.
I get what you're saying though, Caitlin. I see what you're saying. I keep trying to pull it up and it keeps pulling up the local land use amendment.
Which would also be important.
Which is
Which is
also,
also very
Yeah.
important, but it's weird because it was pulling it up. It was pulling up the bonding and assurances this one before. Yeah, that is weird.
Sometimes they change short titles, but I just wonder, I don't know, did we have are these two different bills? Or did they just change the short title in an amendment or a sub during the session?
Good question.
I can compare it to the second sub or the introduced.
You might have,
bonds not affected
Yeah,
by
you might be more
annexations. It's
efficient.
still, there's still a lot of bond verbiage in
I
it.
know that it might be the same.
Yeah,
There are so many, oh my God, yeah, the first 3-4 pages are just
yeah.
changes to the. Sure.
Oh, it's huge.
Your screen or mine?
It's monstrous.
Oh, it's on your
This
screen.
is on
Yeah,
the-
sorry.
Okay.
I wonder if it is just the short name was changed, because there's a lot in here about bonds and.
Yeah.
Assurances and. Yeah, it's all still in there.
Okay,
Cool.
perfect.
Yeah, they just changed its name.
Oh, I just stopped sharing for some reason.
Wow.
So we don't have to do anything right now except double check.
Yeah, just double
where the
check.
word-
I think we should start. I mean, I'm happy to send an email.
Well, look in our zoning code and punch in the search,
Oh, yeah, good, yeah.
assurance bond or building, and just see if the word bond even comes up.
I'm sure that it does because I know that
Those,
our town attorney is very aware of bonds and
Right.
things of that, in that regard.
that was what the subdivision, I mean, that was part of why we were hoping.
Yeah, well, those guys wrote it. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, thanks, Brian. All right, water conservation and general plan, Archa.
In the general plan, it says, general goal, preserve and enhance Bluff as a scenic rural community that appreciates enjoys and protects its distinctive environment, and plan in response to water limitations, geographic hazards, conservation needs, and other restraints for the benefit of current and future generations. So I wrote, Bluff Planning and Zoning has no direct requirement to regulate water use, conservation, or other parameters of Bluff water supply. If, however, the Bluff Town Council determines they want to enact more regulations for water infrastructure with respect to development, P&Z could be tasked with recommending incorporation of the new rules into the zoning or subdivision codes as needed. If the town council comes up with plans that they're gonna do for the water, and it says culinary water is changing to a bigger pipe over there, we could change it to more density, sure, then planning and zoning would be busy. At this moment, I don't know of any plans to change any infrastructure for water, therefore I can't imagine that we have any chores to do.
And since it's already addressed in our general plan.
The scope is absolutely, and it's good. The scope is protect our water, to know where our water is. But I can't imagine a task that we have until water change, until they go to develop or change it.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I might have missed a town council update. So. They are putting together, or they're assigning someone from town council to a secondary water working group. So this would specifically be utilizing the water right out of the San Juan River. So they would like to do an analysis of if secondary water is feasible. Maybe more of like a small scale thing, so like using water trucks and not necessarily pipes right now. So
Okay.
maybe.
Yep, and so taking that sentence a step further would be exactly that. If in fact they come up with a plan, does that mean that our agricultural land needs to be addressed because we've zoned something that has no water or whatever? So once water becomes an issue that they do, they might ask us for help on a specific site or area. I can't imagine us doing anything before that.
Great. Sorry for missing that one.
No, no,
The
that's-
very, 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 very early stuff, so I should
Yeah.
still include it.
Secondary water, I mean, when I first moved here, if you said the word sewer, you got sort of, and now, then it went into secondary water, you couldn't say the word secondary water. So these are issues that I've been here just shy of 30 years, and all the people I know in town say it's 40 years, so.
Okay.
All the buzzwords. All right, coordination with regional transportation plan and
Well, this was fun to learn about. I looked at our resolution 75 and where we town council approved in September of 22 the active transportation plan. Then a resolution in November of 23, and the last advisory committee met in November of 24. And apparently the design work is being done now on the trail from Montezuma to Monument Valley as well. I mean, sorry, Moab to Monument Valley. And so if everything goes according to plan, the construction would start in June. And I had a long talk with Michael to find out his thoughts on this because there really isn't an active transportation committee working. Am I correct on that? Because I couldn't find anybody who was involved in it.
I know that we still have the active transportation committee and they might just be in a lull right now because they may have plan and then the grant funding, I believe, had been pulled. So
I can see where we would need to be involved in this when we start going through private properties and what's a setback, where are these trails actually going? But I don't know where the interaction is with the design of that and our zoning. I mean, I've seen the maps of where it's supposed to be, but I'm not clear when I look at it where our involvement would be. But I would love to hear some insight as to what the past conversations have been.
There are lots of trail conversations that have gone here many years. Most of them were how to protect our downtown safety corridor. So this newer look of the regional plan to come from Moab, the Colorado Trail that came all the way to Moab and extend it, that's out there. And I don't think it's something we take on. The Montezuma Creek to Monument Valley part supposedly is in fact in design and will hit our backyard, our front yard. I don't know what, you're right, there were maps and stuff. And it's not zoning that will happen, it's civil discussion about whose property it is and how they want to participate. And we saw that in action with our river trail. People that didn't want it in the backyard, people that didn't want it on their property, people that gave their property to do it. So I think that's going to be a whole, like I said, civil issue that shouldn't necessarily involve us unless they try and well, I can't,
Other than like us responding to something that arises along the way, I'm assuming this is primarily UDOT managed. It's all about the right of way, and like you said, they're gonna have to approach the civil conversations with individuals about stuff, but until I don't see how we have a primary role in managing anything other than what they would ask us, if something arises.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild that they're gonna do the must-see. Well, it's pretty wild. That was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out still what was the motivation. I really want to talk to someone up there about what changed their minds about moving that.
well, we would certainly see a bicycling public coming through.
Oh, totally,
There's
without a doubt.
couple of
There's a lot of
bicycle
people that like-
races,
oh,
there's a couple,
100%.
and so the idea of connecting places is wonderful.
Yeah, I know it was Governor Cox's, it's been one of his large initiatives is the active transportation. And so it might be that he refunded it.
I just don't know how it went from 2050 to 20. No, it was always part of the I went to the most recent. They tried to ask me to get onto whatever committee that was, and I didn't really join, but I did participate in the last presentation of the, and at that time, this was part of the 2050, like Musty and Monument Valley wasn't part of the initial design phase at all. So somehow this got pushed forward by like a huge amount of time.
Sweet.
So that's, and it's over $10 million they're gonna put into designing it alone. Right? So that means the engineering that they're thinking about doing is bonkers.
Crazy.
So it's a pretty big project.
And construction in June of this year?
June, that sounds, I don't know, I'll believe it if I see it. As I've learned about how projects happen on the roads down here. As I drive them. Hey, about open though, if anyone wants to go do a roundabout in Musty.
It's so nice.
A roundabout is different.
I've been a few times now.
Sorry, it's a completely off topic.
Okay.
Topic, but-
Awesome. Thank you all
It's
for
awesome.
being willing to do some homework and do a little bit of research. That was a lot of fun.
May I ask you last question?
Yes.
I know it's late,
Yeah.
it's late. Caitlin, I'm gonna ask you, as just a planning person, not the chairwoman, so I should actually be directing this to Malia. I'm hoping that you can give us at a future meeting, the rundown from the legislature of anything that jumped out at you. I know you were busy doing more, other bills, but if something jumped out at you that you want us to know about and such, because you were actually there. And so I would love to just hear your take on, did they mess up cities and towns? They always do.
That's what we have the league for. I'm like, no, I'm happy to do that because we'll see, we'll know more after midnight tomorrow. There's a specific bill I'm watching that's circled right now that I think would do some cool stuff for us if it does pass. But I'm so happy to do that. I love bills.
And you're right, we do have League of Cities and Towns wrap up next week or something,
Well,
but
Yep.
just on your radar, if you want to talk to us about something.
I'm like, we have to talk about Burton's bill too, because it's going to be good for our tourist economy. And there are a couple of other ones that I feel like might not come up with the league because there's not like an explicit connection to how we regulate cities and towns, but there are things that have to do with our economic development and it being good to live in Utah and all of that stuff.
Well, forgive me, Madam Chair, for usurping my
Hmm.
putting the question that way, but perhaps we could put Caitlin for a minute on the agenda next time to just tell us a few things.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. That actually leads really nicely into number 7, discussion of training commitments and interests. because next Thursday, the 12th, is that Utah League of Cities and Towns session wrap up. And then I believe there's a separate one that's about land use, so it could be important for us to attend that if we can, and then if we can't, have a quick rundown on it at the next meeting, and then Caitlin, if you're able to go into, able and interested to go in on some of the additional bills for
Yep.
us as well, because it will be a work session, that next
Oh,
meeting.
but
So
yeah,
a good chance to just chit chat.
Great.
And Marcia, you actually put this on the agenda. Is
What-
there anything specifically you were thinking, the discussion of training commitments and interests? Does this relate back to our goals document of professional development?
I,
And just like people stating
where,
what
what
their,
now? I'm
number
sorry.
7, discussion
Number
of training
7.
commitments and interests.
Oh, I don't have that on my agenda. I printed it out too soon.
There's another one to your left.
There is. I think it was a reflection of what we just did.
Okay,
As in, do we need to pick or choose, but we should do that at our work session anyway.
yeah,
And take it off tonight.
Okay.
and-
so we'll put that as, move on to number 8, items for next agenda. So we'll move number 7, discussion of training commitments / interests. And so the way I interpret that is there something that you specifically are interested in? For example, when we were doing the, this in 2025, Amanda had a specific interest in solar. She knew that we were getting ready to do a
Yeah.
solar ordinance, and so she did a little bit additional training on that. So if there's anything specifically land use that you're interested in, maybe it doesn't come up until you hear that session wrap up, or maybe it's about bonds because we think that
Bonds are so.
most
Yeah,
interesting
but-
thing
yeah,
out
bonds.
there, so.
And part of it is, lack of, or to protect, duplicating the work. In other words,
Yeah.
just, we don't all have to get the same sentence read, we can report.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
friendly reminder on that, the training, I did sign up for the Utah Land Use Institute from 8 to 4 on March 20th, and we will actually stream it here at the community center. So if you are going to be here, let me know in case we do need to post it as a meeting, if there is gonna be a quorum. So.
I'll be here. I'll be there.
Well,
I come back.
all
Okay,
right.
so you can spend all day with us
Now,
here.
that's the housing, right?
That is the Land Use Institute.
Doing housing.
Is it specifically housing?
I thought I read the agenda as doing
I
housing.
looked at the agenda, I forgot.
25th was just the straight up land use session, I thought.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm,
25th is land use.
either way, we should have a full 8 hour, whatever.
Utah League of Cities and Towns land use is the 25th at noon,
Right.
Okay, that's just an hour
Right.
and
of,
that's just an hour.
and that,
that's
and
land use.
I signed up. for
That's the one that we
Yeah,
emailed.
we signed up for that, no
Yes.
problem. Okay.
To add more confusion,
Oh.
maybe this goes under other,
Oh.
but shoot a reminder for the next agenda.
Yeah.
Everyone is invited to attend the Utah League of Cities and Towns meeting in Monticello at the Hideout on Monday, April 13th.
All right.
5:30 till,
Is there golfing involved?
Yeah.
there should be.
Is
Uh,
there a driving range at the hideout?
We
We should
could
at
do,
least go.
we could do
there.
a team.
Yeah,
building.
We should do a team building activity. Hey, sorry.
Okay, it's getting late.
Yeah, sorry, I'm out.
They're gonna go over powers and duties. They're gonna go over some of the
Sweet.
legislative stuff, and
Great.
it's kind of like a meet and greet. We should take advantage of it if we can, because they don't come down here often. But their main guy, Cameron
Oh.
Deal, thank you.
Yeah.
He's a big deal.
Yeah.
He will be down here, doing that. So that's Monday, April 13th. And they provide dinner, so,
Wow.
and we'll figure out that whole carpool situation again. Probably,
Probably someone to make sure.
probably in our like $500 sedan.
Can we
Aaron.
post, we're all driving in the $500 sedan together?
Yeah.
And allow the public to join us?
Yes,
There's
by reservation only.
By
I was
reservation.
thinking of potentially asking the county if we could borrow.
right.
So you are gonna let us all go together.
I think I will, yeah. We'll just, yeah,
Well,
we'll just figure it out. It'll
We
be
just
fine.
have to put a camera inside of the van and we can't talk about anything.
Yeah. You guys have to talk about non-bluff stuff.
Seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, right.
Okay, additional items for next agenda.
I think Caitlin was trying to say something.
Oh, yes.
Yes, is that all day, Erin? Is it the night? Is
No,
it?
no. Just the evening, 5 5 or 5:30. I think it's 5:30 till probably like 8 o'clock. Dinner included, 5:30 PM until 8 o'clock PM.
Right.
Monday, the.
Monday, the
13th.
13th.
And this
of
is what they
April.
canceled this week.
No, different,
Because
but
it's longer.
probably it's longer and they will probably have more items to.
Which is
cover,
good.
But I do think that there will be some interface with CERTA, there'll be some interface. So yeah, it'll be good.
Bonus.
Whoa.
Okay, additional items for next agenda. Sounds like we're talking a lot about training and then also Caitlin giving us a full report on the
Everything.
entire
No,
legislature.
no,
Yeah,
no.
sorry, the things
Just
that
a
apply
couple
to
of
us.
Oh,
Just the things, your highlights.
My
That
highlights.
sounds good.
Caitlin's highlights.
Nice. Like that.
Alright. We're good.
Tell you
Well-
how-
Say that again.
You're cutting out. Say it
Say it
again.
again.
I said, can I tell you how I've suffered too? Can we have a commitment?
It can also be a release session for you, just.
Yeah.
Catharsis. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Cathartic session, yeah.
Yeah.
love it.
You can count on us.
You
Cool.
can, if you want, you can put Drew in the background crying and, you know.
Oh, that's kidding.
The theater.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna motion.
Wait, we have other.
Oh, we have another. Oh, no.
We actually do have another,
Okay.
because it seems like we are long-winded and have a lot to say. I'm wondering if we should schedule one of our meetings a month, or maybe both, move it to 90 minutes. Just so that it's something we're prepared for. We don't have to just discuss it now.
I'm not
just-
ready to make this commitment tonight, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to think about it.
But it's something I'd like to discuss because we've gone over like every meeting, and maybe it's me as chair, I need to tell you guys to stop talking. I really enjoy what you have to say, and I don't wanna do
We
that.
don't go over it by that much that
It's
frequently.
currently 7:20.
I'm looking at the clock, but I'm saying this is not, I would say this is later than we usually stay. We're not horrible at it. Don't knock yourself.
The
I don't-
last meeting also went this late.
Yeah,
But you had, it was two.
yeah.
It was two groups of
Two
people.
groups, two
Yeah, the
entities.
town
Okay.
council can talk. That Spencer guy? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
let's talk about it. Let's put it on our, yeah, let's put it as a conversation for the next one.
I'm putting that under other, not under,
Yep.
or I'm putting that under next agenda, not under other.
Oh,
Is this mostly just about like alleviating guilt of like feeling like we're staying longer? Cause no, I don't think any, yeah, well, let's just talk about it next.
Yeah, we'll talk
That's
about
How
it
I
like a
want to spend my
discussion.
Thursday.
I think we should-
Sorry,
Any-
Collins said. Got it.
Pronouns.
We gotta go.
Alright,
I will
Any other
now,
others?
now can I do it?
Give everybody online a chance for
I'm
another.
fine.
Okay, go,
I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
second and we're done.
All right,
Good night,
7:22,
everybody.
meeting adjourned.
Just stop.
Thank you. Bye.
Nice to see you.
Caitlin, drive
Yes.
safe coming and going, I know you go away and then come back and then come home,
That was
so
good.
be
Then powers
careful.
off.
Okay?
Yeah.
No,
Good night,
he's on his
guys.
way. So
No,
Alright.
Drew is coming home, right?
7:22.
Is that what you said? Okay, you keep